Now we review the film Saturday Night. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I have just seen Saturday Night, which is the story of the first Saturday Night Live show dress rehearsal, I guess, time before the show, and it goes over the friction between the stars and the politics of the movie industry, or the film, or the TV industry. Anyway, for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I do purchase one of these bracelets from 4Ocean. 4Ocean will then pull a pound of trash out of the ocean every time I do that. If you would be so kind as to comment and like and subscribe, you'd be doing your part for a better world. Now, if you're not familiar with Saturday Night Live, you're going to hear a lot of names you've heard because Saturday Night Live spawned a lot of really famous actors. Further to that point, there are a lot of really famous actors in here, like, Jesse Eisenberg and William Dafoe. And you watch this, and it's such a strange feeling because they didn't get people that really looked like the original Saturday Night Live actors, but they sound so much like them that if you closed your eyes, you'd feel that you were there. Andy Kaufman stands out as just being a weird character, but I don't know if they got that right because I don't know that much about Kaufman. I mean, I didn't see Man in the Moon, and I've never been a fan of his work. But, having done load-in shows and having done touring shows and having been connected with this kind of media, yeah, I can tell you that you are seeing actors doing their thing, because actors are kind of all by definition weird, and many of them are self-righteous a-holes who you would just love to punch in the face. And I've been told that this is very much toned down from what really happened, and there probably should have been a lot more cocaine, because what really happened probably had a lot more cocaine associated with it, and there was also lots and lots of smoking. Smoking and cocaine. Really. Copious amounts of that smoking. I noticed that there wasn't a lot of sexy going on, but I guess that's kind of a Saturday Night Live thing. I mean, look, I was never the biggest fan of Saturday Night Live myself. Before the original Trump presidency, before Donald Trump became a politician, somebody said, I want to do a YouTube show based kind of on Saturday Night Live. I want to do Saturday Night Live things. And I was like, okay, dude. And I started researching Saturday Night Live, and the only thing I really cared about was Weekend Update, because it was what I could produce regularly. I mean, they have scores of writers. This guy just had me. So I produced Weekend Update at a level at which Saturday Night would produce Weekend Update. So yeah, that's one of those things that I understood about Weekend Update. So that was my thing in Saturday Night Live. Many of these characters, or many of these personalities, are people I don't know or have only heard people refer to. So yeah, I was kind of going into this blind. I didn't watch any of the trailers for this, and I have to say, this was fairly enjoyable. I love the mentality that goes into this, like when they're bringing down the applause sign, and the guy goes, no, we are not begging for their approval. And that's one thing I really like about this, is that, yeah, you shouldn't be begging for the audience's approval. Look, I've done live shows, and I remember one of them was a Halloween show, and I did one version of the show, and nobody laughed at it. They all thought it was creepy. And I did another version of the show, and another performance of the show, and everybody laughed, and I don't know why. I don't know why it was funny, but, you get different audiences. That's just how the world works. I didn't laugh once during this particular movie. And that's just me. I don't laugh at a lot of things. I enjoyed what I was seeing. I felt what I was seeing was enriching me as a person. And that was about it. I did not think what was happening was funny. But then, uh, maybe it's because I'm closer to the material than most of you. So you're probably going to find this really funny. I still enjoyed it. I did not want to walk out on this. I did not say, hey, this stinks. I said, well, this is really interesting. It's sort of like a docudrama. And again, I'm told it's really watered down from what it really was. And it really feels like the events could not have happened in that order, because you're following primarily, I think it's Lauren Michaels is the name. You're following primarily the producer of Saturday Night Live, but it's not linear. There's one point where there's a guy on the street who's trying to get people to come in and see the show, and then something happens that he has to react to, and then you realize that something happens came from a writer that you saw later. So those two events, were you saw the aftermath of the event before it actually happened. These things were nonlinear in nature. So it is questionable how this, because they say it's like 90 minutes of actual time that was used to put, and I'm like, no, 90 minutes before opening curtain, no one is building a brick floor. It's just, that's not what's happening, but that is something happening in this. So I'm wondering if maybe that brick floor was being laid earlier, but then they were struggling to get it done in time. So that does make sense. Maybe it was. I don't know. But what you have here is an extremely solid film. It is going to give you an insight into the industry, how cutthroat it is, how fast-paced it is, and it is just a wonderful experience. So I'm saying that Saturday Night goes in the upper half of your watch list. It is a solid film. It is worth watching, and I enjoyed it. But that's just my opinion, and I'd love to hear yours down in the comments below. I, of course, am Richard.
Randall the Rat here, reminding you to comment, like, and subscribe. And why should you do that? Well, look over here. These are bracelets from 4Ocean. Each one of them means a pound of trash was pulled out of the ocean. And this channel buys one for every 1,000 subscribers it gets. And this around my neck, well, this is a medal from the Conqueror. It represents walking around the Great Pyramids of Giza. You can get one for yourself by going to the Conqueror challenges.com and saying, hey, I want to pretend I walked around the pyramids of Giza without dealing with all the sweat and flies and delicious scarab beetles. Or you could support this channel so they can buy more of these, which means that they will plant trees, because each one of these represents 5 trees that got planted. Yeah, that's right, 5 trees helping your environment. Global warming sucks. Be a good person, comment, like, and subscribe. Give us more money so that we can plant trees by buying medals from the Conqueror. Randall out.